Wake up, America! Are you looking for a little guy that radiates confidence without ever saying a word? Well, feast your eyes on my little Trumpy. Set him on your desk, mantle, or tiny podium and watch him stand there like he's already won something. And don't worry about accessories. He comes dressed in a classic suit with a tie that's just a little too long because subtlety is for losers. Hey guys, so today we're doing a new craft. We are making our own mini Trump. Now, I've tried to film this video quite a few times, to say the least. Now, I think I've got the process down pretty well. I think I've tried to make this video 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I gave one away as a gift. I've made this video 6 times. So just know that if I seem a little frustrated while I'm in the video, it's because I'm frustrated and I'm making the video. But anyways, I'm gonna take you through all of the supplies that I'm going to use today to make 6 different ones of these. So the first thing I have is hot glue and a hot glue gun. Mine is high heat, it takes the big sticks, doesn't matter what kind of hot glue you have, it'll all work. An iron, which I have, and I burnt myself already. I don't know if you can see, but it's bright red. I burnt myself with this iron, so don't burn yourself. I have an iron, I have iron-on transfers. This one is for light fabric. You're gonna need 2 different kinds. So you're gonna need one for light fabric, one for dark fabric. I have added free printable icons in the description. So these will print on a regular letter-sized paper. They'll print out the right size if you just leave it on default settings. Print this on the paper for dark fabric, and this on the paper for light fabric. So those are in the description. I found this bag of wood at Hobby Lobby in the woodworking section. It just says wood economy bag on it. So I have this. You'll only need 4 pieces. You'll see what I use in the video. Hopefully my voiceover will kind of tell you what you need. The next thing you're gonna need is fabric. So I bought 2 yards of each. You really only need 22 inches, which is what, 2 feet? So that's 2/3 of a yard? 3/4? I don't know. And then this is for the suit. This is for the head. Next I have a 5mm sheet of craft foam. You'll need a very minuscule amount of black fabric, and you'll also need 2 half foam balls for the feet. Scissors and a needle and thread, and that is all you need. I use a sewing machine for part of mine, but you can still hand sew it or hot glue it, either way. But that is it, so I'll let myself get into telling you how to make the project, how I made it 6 different times for you. So okay, the first thing I did was cut a 22-inch diameter circle out of the fabric I'm using for the head. Next thing I'm doing, I'm setting down my iron-on and I'm ironing that girl on. So she's there, she's attached, she's up in there. Yeah. Next I've got pieces of wood. So I've got 2 8-inch pieces, 1 7-inch and 1 6-inch. The 7-inch I used for the connecting piece, and the 6-inch is just a thing that's gonna hold the head on. So it doesn't have to be any specific length. Like you can DIY this to the fullest. None of this has to be exact. And then I've got my skeleton made. So I set my skeleton down on the fabric. I cut a 4-inch allowance around both sides of it. Make sure if you're cutting a fabric that's folded over that you cut the fold. Also I cut out about 1 inch for the crotch. And then I iron on my little tie piece. So once I've got that ironed on, I'm gonna put right sides together and I'm gonna sew along the sides and along the crotch area. So I'm back, I've got that sewn together. Yours should look a little bit like this. It doesn't really matter. I don't leave an allowance when I'm sewing. Like it's like probably 1/4 inch. And then I'm gonna turn it right side out so you can see my beautiful handiwork. You've got that beautiful tie on hand, don't you? Doesn't it look good? Like, I did that one on my phone. The other one I did on my drawing tablet. So it's not AI. None of this is AI. And then I've got, okay. This is the hardest part. So the recording actually cut off here, which is so funny. It just stopped at so. But so basically you're just gonna hot glue around the edge of the foam ball
glue the fabric down as smooth as you possibly can, cut off the excess, cut some little fringy bits, and then glue those little fringy bits down. Then you get your foam out, you're going to cut a circle around that, and then glue the circle down. Ta-da, you made a foot. I also lost the rest of this part of the recording, so I guess, like, yeah, do the same thing again. So you're going to cut about a 2-inch allowance around your foam ball, glue the fabric down, glue it down, smooth it out as much as you can. It won't be perfect, there's no way to do it. And then cut off the excess, cut your fringe, glue your fringe down, and then after you glue the fringe down, you're gonna cut a circle out of the foam to fit your thing, and then glue down to the foot. And then you have 2 feet. Woo! We also lost this part of the recording. So you're gonna put your body you're gonna put the skeleton into the body. And then I end up cutting a little bit off because I thought my legs were too long, and boy was I right. It turned out really well at the very end. So just know that you can fudge this a lot. Like, okay, and then you're gonna glue your feet to the legs. So do that. Ta-da! Then after you do that, you're gonna put a little square hot glue mine's about 1.5 inches below the very top of the stick. And then I glue down the iron-on. By the way, you do want this white allowance on the edge of the iron-on. It's necessary. These print the perfect size, so just keep that in mind. Next, I am threading my needle with an arm's length of thread. I'm going to make this drawstring situation, and it's like I think it's a gathering stitch, running stitch. I don't really know what it is, but it makes a drawstring. So you're going to do that to sew the head into a little circle drawstring situation. It should be kind of ugly. So it's taking me a while. Okay, and then you pull out your polyfill, and we're gonna fluff that up a little bit, and then stuff the head as much as you feel like you want to. You can make them real puffy, or you can make them not puffy at all. It's all up to you. I'm gonna smush them down. So we smushed them down, and then we're gonna pull out the body. Ta-da! Get rid of that head, and then we're gonna stuff the body as much as you want. I don't know about you guys, but I like a thick president. I like him thick, so I'm making my Trump a little thick. She's a little chunky. Now I've got my head out again. By the way, I never cut the thread on when I was done sewing the drawstring on the head, so I just continue with that. But basically, you're gonna shove your head onto the stick, and then you're gonna take your thread and you're gonna sew another gathering stitch, but this time on the body. I start at the edge of the iron-on, and I just start gathering that stitch up, and then I sew it all the way around the edge to the back. I also didn't realize this when I was recording, but I do move out of frame while I'm sewing the body to the head. So basically all I do is I just put a few extra stitches in the back while I'm still sewing back there, and I just go backwards and I sew the back of the head to the body, and that makes them stay. So that's what I do. Anyways, with that, we're pretty much done. So yeah, here's me sewing a little bit more. I'm taking a while to do this. So I guess we're just hanging out for a second. La 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 la. Whoa. Okay, perfect. So now we are gonna sew a little glue line on top of the foot and fold the fabric under. You're gluing that down. Glue it down. So you glue that down. And with that, you're pretty much done. We're gonna do the same thing to the other side, and then our president's fully functioning. So with that, we're pretty much done. If you guys end up actually making this project, please at me on Instagram or something. I don't know. Do anything to let me know that you made this project, because what? Why'd you do that? Kind of weird behavior. Just kidding. It's a tutorial. Make it if you want to. Don't make it. I don't know. I can't. I don't know. Anyways, my Instagram is bimbotonic, spelled the same way that it is here. So at me if you make this for some weird reason, or if you use the Trump file for anything. Also let me know what you use that for, because that would be super funny. But yeah, I am running out of time. Follow, subscribe, like, comment, and I love you. Like this video. Okay, bye.